Welcome back to SSRC, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good day. Today we're going to do the switch out from the Injora aluminum for the plastic. Full-blown build. I'll show you step by step. I am running a different chassis than everybody else, so I had to redo a few things, undo them, so I could get everything out. What I like to do, I like to go through the bag. It states 1 gear, spindle gear, O-rings, assorted bag of screws, aluminum cover, and then 1 more gear. I will state one thing. It says right here, I've seen a lot of posts of people saying they swapped over the trans, but it's binding. It says right here on the very first piece of paper, it says, please use the screws that they have provided. They are specific for the aluminum. The screws that are with the nylon will not work. Again, it's right here. So, and not only that, there are 2 different types of bearings. The 2 bearings out of the 6, there's 4 of the D63 2.5 millimeter, there's 4 of those, and the D3H 2.0 millimeter is 2 of those. Okay, and then obviously I have a little bit of grease. So first what we're gonna do, I'm not gonna take everything out. I'm gonna take the top off and hopefully I can get it out. That's a quicker, easier way to do it. So we're just gonna remove these 4 screws right up here. And again, it says do not use the screws. So basically what I'm gonna do is just put the screws This is the first time I've opened it up, so everything that I'm seeing, you're seeing. I was looking over the directions right quick. I am going to switch. Okay, I just removed the 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to try to lift that out. I should be able to lift it right out. Yes. Okay, as it all comes out in one piece, we will get to that. I'm going to put that aside. There is the gear inside. So I will redo. Okay, so that's going to be this gear here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and take it out. I'm just going to put a little spot of grease behind each back side. That's going to take 2 of the 2.5 millimeter, which is the bigger of the 2 sets. So each one I'm just going to put in there. Just like that. No O-rings or anything. I do have to get my small Phillips to undo the drive shafts. Obviously the drive shafts I'll just back out. I will back them out that way. That way I can just get the gear out. Okay, front drive line's being a little stubborn. What I will usually try to do also is I try to bring everything out as it sits in. So this is the original gears. You can see it's many pieces. So I will look at it, take it apart, make sure there's no O-rings or anything that I'm going to be missing. Place it up next to the new gear. Sorry, the injora. And what I will do is I will first set the front drive line. I'm just going to go ahead and place it back in the rocker on the skid plate. I will probably put that screw in now in the front drive line. And you can, tighten down the skid plate, the screw a little bit in that. So all I'm doing right now is, I don't want to make it too cray-cray. What I'm doing right now is I'm just putting the drive lines in right here. So I'm going to connect the rear. I always find it very useful. Nice set of small line that up. I think my puppy might want to come outside. Don't try to force the screws in either, please, turn the screw counterclockwise till you hear a click, and that's the screws usually hit its thread and then slowly thread in. So this is exactly what it's going to look like with the new injora. I'm going to put a little spot of grease right on top. I will put the gears that I take out stock and put them back in the bag, and then I will mark them. Where are you, grease? And just a little spot of grease on top. You can see the grease right there, how much it is. So, and I mean, you don't have to spin it till you get the gears in and everything, so. Okay, everything feels good and smooth. I don't know if you can see that. So I like to check my stuff before I do anything, you know, to make sure it's good and smooth. Everything turns good. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside right quick. Now we're gonna work on the trans. So here it is, stock trans. And again, do not use stock screws. There's 6 of them. So what I'm gonna do, now I'll hold the cap on. I won't let the cap just fall off, okay? So this way, if something happens, you don't lose sight of it. I do have my direction book on the right side of me for the stock as well. Okay, so I took all the screws out, and this is how we're gonna look at it. Okay, top comes right off. That's gonna go up here, out of the way. You can see the inside of everything. Okay, we're gonna get into that right quick. So, what we're gonna need here are this gear here. Injora sends as one piece. I'm pretty sure it's 2 pieces inside the trans. The second gear is going to be the one that looks like a pancake. It's got 2 sides to it. That's going to get your special bearings, the small ones, the ones that look like they have no backing. They're not broken. They're okay. You're good. You're good. And then 1 O-ring. So they send quite a bit of O-rings in the bag. So I'm just gonna note to self, it is not the larger O-ring, it is the smaller O-ring. Now what I will do to put that on is I will take that and put that on my fingertip. and then I'll put this right inside and just rock it right over. So just put it on your fingertip, seat it, and then just rock it right over. It's not going to shoot off anywhere. Push it down, and we're good to go. That goes behind the gear, and then your bearing, which is going to be the bigger bearing on the back side of that. The bigger bearing on the inside of the same shaft, opposite side. Perfect. So you got a bearing in the front, O-ring, then the bearing. Don't forget that O-ring, and it's the smaller O-ring out of the two. So first thing I will do is I am going to pull I know y'all saw that, so it's whatever. Oh, right on my shoe. All right. So that's going to be the first gear I pulled out. This is how. So the first gear I pulled out is going to be the spiral gear, one piece. That goes out of the way up here. And then the one-way spiral gear, I gotta get those bearings out of there. Both sets. But this is gonna go in here. I'm gonna put a spot of grease right quick. Just put a little grease on the shaft, and we're gonna put that on the side with the bulkhead. Just gonna slide it right in there as normal. Make sure it sits in, that bearing sits in the hole. You can see right through here on the bottom here where my fingertip is. You can see it. All right, it's sitting right in there. That's good. Second, we're gonna pull out. This was the big long shaft. Second one I'm pulled out, which is this one, the smaller gear, which is this one, which has the two gears that they look like they have no seal on it. I put a little bit of grease in mine. That one is 0 O-rings, no O-rings or anything. So bearing on the back side and a bearing on the front. Bearing on the back, no O-ring, and then a bearing in there. And then what I'm going to do, I mean, you can put it in there, but I'm gonna have to get the motor obviously in there. That was a tight fit. Okay, we're good. Everything feels good. Just a spot of grease where they meet in the middle. And then I'll just do that there. Okay, so that's what it's gonna look like there. Everything's good. And you don't have to kill it with a lot of grease. It's such a small area. Okay, now we're gonna take the motor, Phillips head. Oh, these are gonna be nasty. Ooh, be careful of those. Get a good grip on that bad boy. Woo. Yep, they Loctited it. Definitely. And where they had it was at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Okay, so I'm just going to put this aside for now because it gave me my own screws to use for that. So first we're going to go in here to the bag. I have a small white rag over here that I'm just going to kind of dump everything out. And I'm just going to put the, I'll worry about putting the O-rings away later. So I'm going to pull out my screws. Here's my 4 screws for the bulkhead to the skid plate. And then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the cover plate. So it looks like I have an extra long screw. It looks like they gave you extra everything. And I will put this away. So what you're getting out of there is the 2 screws to mount the motor, the 4 screws that seat the bulkhead to the skid plate, and the 5 screws that put on the cover plate. Yeah, it's 5. That's weird. That's weird. So I'm going to go ahead and just put the motor in. And I'll put it just the same way that I had it from factory. Because obviously you can't set, you can't set the gear mesh because they already have that set. Because the screws are just like that. I have a little blue Loctite that I use. So I'm just going to put a small dab on each one of these. Oh, it's not a Phillips. That is not a Phillips. That is... that's crazy. All right, well. And I just put ever so small. I mean, you don't need a crap ton of it. I mean, it's not torquing, it's not snapping or popping, so. And I'll just get each one started. And just so you can see how much I'm putting on. I'll snug them both down. Oh yeah, it's nice. That's nice. Now I'm not really torquing it down. I will get it nice and seated, and then I'll just give it a nice little snug. Because remember, you got the Loctite on there, and once that dries, that's going to hold you pretty secure, you know. So it's just, so this is what everything's going to look like when you're done. Looks good. I might put a little bit more grease in there. I'm gonna just put a little spot. Now I know you're gonna see that both gears actually shaking around. Do not sweat it. On the back of the cover plate, he has 2 nipples. Obviously, they hold them secure and in place. Okay, everything fit together really nice. I like it. I like it. So each one of these will be the 5 of the ones with the taller heads. I will show you what it looks like. And that, Phillips. That's Phillips. That's the weirdest thing I ever seen. Weirdest thing I ever seen. So be careful you don't strip those out. Personally, if you strip it out, you can use a Dremel and make it for a straight head, and then you can back it out that way. But see, I'm just bottoming it out for right now. Man, these are tiny. Yo. And there's no rush. Slow and steady wins the race. My dad always told that. I mean, just slow and steady. Smell the roses, enjoy the cup of coffee, water, beer, I don't care. And then spread a little nice kindness around. So much hate everywhere. It's horrible. Okay, they are snugged down. They are not torqued down, they're just snugged. But you can see the screw, that's the 5, obviously the tall ones. Okay, so I'm gonna use my Fantic, and I'm just gonna brace the motor in my hand, the trans, and I'm gonna tighten these. And you don't have to kill it. And I'm gonna do a star pattern because you don't want to over tighten them, because then it'll bind on the trans. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna get it back in there and get that bad boy running, but solid. Okay. Let me slide this thing back to me. Okay, so I'm just gonna fit mine in there. I got grease everywhere. Grease is good. I got grease on the inside shaft. So let me just get her in there. Oh, don't really want to scratch it or anything. Oh wow, popped right in there. Good show. But right now I'm just trying to seat the transmission back onto the housing. And this is where I knew I was going to run into the issue because of my chassis. Oh, I see why. Okay. So actually these sit on a shaft. You can see. It sits on a shaft. So they just slide in there. And then I'm just gonna plop these bad boys back in there. And please do not use stock screws. Obviously there's a reason, I don't know why, but so be it. So I will use my hand on this one. I just want to feel it. Oh yeah, it feels good. So I butted it down and I'm just gonna do a little snug. Because like I said, you don't need to over tighten it. All right, I mean, that's it. That is it. God, probably gonna give me the weight. I will be running either the Nano Fury Tech or the Unity in this. I'll do a video on that once I get a couple bucks saved up, and we'll get on it. I am going to, we'll get this together real quick. So on a light note, found a battery, Spectrum. She fits right back there in the back, ESC right across. I'll be good. Right now I'm running stock electronics with the Injora skids right here, which came with their own screws as well. They are marked left and right. I am running stock. I took mine out. I have a video on what I did with this. It's just a goofy thing. I didn't want to drill a hole, so I double-sided taped this here, and all I gotta do to turn it on when I plug it in is grab the bottom of the skid, the top, hear it? So that'll be good. I am going to tighten down my chassis right quick. I am running the Piranha by Mofo with the +6mm rear lengths. And I gotta tell you right now, what a game changer. What a game changer. That reminds me of my baby Prospect. That's the chassis. Obviously it's got a lid. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here real quick. let me just get these screws in here. And I mean, I don't get out of control. I will mark each bag what they are, skid plate screws and so forth. This way I know what they are, and I just kind of keep them. Now what I always like to do, I would like to get this together and running, is why I want to get this one on. Because I want to see if there's any binding, if everything's smooth. Because you don't want to put it all together, you know, if it's just going to be all over the place. Binding, issues, whatever. So... come on. Okay, so I'm just gonna bend mine up. Oh shit. Be careful of your motor leads. I might have to resolder that bad boy. Probably. So I'm just gonna plug this in for right now, and I'm gonna plug the battery in. I gotta get my remote. Yeah, screwed up. All right, well, I got power. Everything's smooth. The grease in there is good. Just don't know why I don't have steering, so I'll figure that out in a bit. Oh, because it's not plugged in. Yeah, that's a freaking hilarious. Kind of excited. I'd like to get it on the rocks, but all right. So everything is good. No binding. None. So that's it. Super simple. And and like I said, that was my first time doing it, opening it up with you guys. So pretty simple, slow and steady. Don't get discouraged. I mean, you'll be good to go. So, and it came out very well, very well. So I'm going to do a few more things on my own, put the other side back on, and that should be it. And I will do another video of her with her crawling hair in a little bit. All right. If you guys do me a favor, hit that like button. You don't have to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe. I'm not doing this to get rich. I just do it because I enjoy it. So you guys have a wonderful day. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. All right. All right.